بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستهديه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وأصحابه وسلم تسليما كثيرا مزيدا إلى يوم الدين أما بعد. This is our 12th class on the chapter of fasting from Zad al-Mustaqna, and we left off yesterday talking about those who are weak and at an older age and they can't fast, or those with an incurable terminal illness. And today the author moves on to matters where one expects recovery. He expects to be cured, a temporary illness. And he says, وَالسُنَّ لِمَرِيضٍ يَضُرُّ. Now he mentions those who have a hope of being cured. وَالسُنَّ means it's sunnah. It's sunnah to break the fast of one who is ill or sick. Does that mean any illness? That's when he adds the stipulation in the sentence, يَضُرُّ. If fasting harms him. And we'll explain the levels of harm. If it harms him, the author says it's not only permissible, but it's actually sunnah. He has the right to do it. And on top of that, the author adopts the opinion that it's sunnah means that the sunnah here means that he gets reward for breaking his fast if he is ill and that fasting may harm him. It's by ijma', by consensus. No ulama disagree overall that when one is ill, he has the right to break his fast. فَمَنْ كَانَ مِنْكُمْ مَرِيضًا أَوْ عَلَى سَفَرٍ فَعِدَّةٌ مِنْ أَيَّامٍ أُخَرَ. If any of you are ill or on a journey, then they should make up a number of days that they missed after Ramadan. وَالسُنَّ لِمَرِيضٍ يَضُرُّ. The author said يَضُرُّ means if fasting is harmful, if it causes him harm due to his illness. Now illness is different types. Some may affect a person's fast and some does not. And that's why the author added the stipulation يَضُرُّ. Now we need to understand here, what's the standard for an illness that permits one to break his fast? Illness is three types from a fiqh perspective. If one fears, the first one is, if one fears that fasting will cause his illness to worsen or that it may slow the recovery or progress, then it's sunnah for him to break that fast. This is what the author was talking about. This is the category that he meant it's sunnah for you to break your fast. And actually this is the opinion of a great vast majority of the ulama. The second type is when fasting may cause someone to reach the level of danger. Something like death or close to death or extreme hardship. Now in this one it's not only sunnah to break your fast, but it's wajib upon you to break your fast. It's the mercy of the most merciful Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He obligated fasting. And He also obligated that one break his fast if the illness, if the fasting puts his illness at danger. Someone with a kidney failure, diabetic, if he puts his life in danger thinking he's doing good, he in reality sinned. May get sins because of it. وَلَا تَقْتُلُوا أَنفُسَكُمْ. Don't kill yourself. The verse don't kill yourself applies to circumstances and situations like this. In the hadith in Sunan Abu Dawood, Amr ibn al-As said, I was in the battle, on the journey for the battle of Dhat al-Salas, and I had a sexual dream in one of the nights. He said, I was afraid to wash myself with water because it was cold, it was freezing. So he said, I performed tayammum. Instead of washing and taking a shower with water, he did tayammum with dirt. Not only did he make Salat al-Fajr, but he led Salat al-Fajr. So the companions, when they reached Medina, they went to the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam. They said, Amr ibn al-As had a sexual dream and he didn't take a shower, rather he did tayammum. The Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, Amr, you led your companions while you were impure, the major impurity. Amr ibn al-As explained to the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam what had happened and that he was afraid that he might cause extreme hardship to him. The Messenger then he told the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and I heard Allah say, وَلَا تَقْتُلُوا أَنفُسَكُمْ إِنَّ اللَّهَ كَانَ بِكُمْ رَحِيمًا. Don't kill yourself. Verily Allah is merciful with you. This is Amr explaining to the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam began to laugh and didn't say anything. When the Messenger laughed, he didn't say anything. That's implied approval. That's approval. Had he just been silent, that would have been approval. When he laughed, that's additional confirmation of the approval. And not only did he approve what he did, but he approved his usage of the verse, don't kill yourself, in circumstances like that. Using tayammum of dirt instead of water when he fears that it may cause him some kind of harm. The third type of illness is that which does not affect the person. Like a little pain you got in your finger, a toothache, a little headache, a cough, some mild form of allergy. If it's something that has no effect with your fast, it does not affect your fast, the ulama disputed if one can break his fast in this type or not. The majority of the fuqaha say the illness in the verse that exempts one from fasting is not any type of illness. It's an illness that has to be in category 1 or category 2 that we mentioned. Something like this category, it's haram to break your fast for. Number 2 opinion. Some of the Salaf disagreed and said one can break his fast even if it's a small finger pain in your finger, the tip of your finger, or a little toothache. And their proof is that, the main proof that they used is when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, فَمَنْ كَانَ مِنْكُمْ مَرِيضًا أَوْ عَلَى سَفَرٍ فَعِدَّةٌ مِنْ أَيَّامٍ أُخَرٍ. They said it's not specified that it has to be extreme illness. So any type of illness is sufficient. Al-Ataridi said, I entered upon Muhammad ibn Sirin. He said, I entered upon Muhammad ibn Sirin when he was eating in Ramadan. And it appears from the story that it didn't look like Ibn Sirin was ill. Otherwise, he would not have asked him. Al-Ataridi asked Ibn Sirin, why are you eating in Ramadan? And Muhammad ibn Sirin, rahimahullah, said, because I hurt my finger. Al-Qurtubi, the alim, the mufassir, the faqih, Al-Qurtubi, commenting on this, said, this is the best opinion on this matter in this situation. A little tiny pain in his finger. Now, Ibn Jurayj also, he said, I asked Ata, what illness can I break my fast for? Ata, rahimahullah, said, any type of illness. This was actually also the opinion of Bukhari, rahimahullah. And he said, I was ill in Naysabur, and Ishaq ibn Rahway came in and he asked Ishaq ibn Rahway, said, did you break your fast? And Bukhari said, yes. He said, that's good, because I thought you wouldn't take the rukhsa, meaning I didn't think you would take the permission of Allah excusing you and allowing you to break your fast. Another proof is that they said the traveler and ill are combined in the ayah. Just like one can break his fast for any type of travel, he can break his fast for any type of illness. وَمَنْ كَانَ مِنْكُمْ مَرِيضًا وَعَلَى سَفَرٍ فَعِدَّةٌ مِنْ أَيَّامٍ أُخَرٍ. Whoever's ill or on a journey, the same number of days which he did not observe in Ramadan, he must make them up. And then they said, يُرِيدُ اللَّهُ بِكُمُ الْيُسْرَ وَلَا يُرِيدُ بِكُمُ الْعُسْرَ. In the verse, يُرِيدُ اللَّهُ بِكُمُ الْيُسْرَ, Allah intends for you ease. And He doesn't want to make things difficult for you. The other ulama responded to this. They said, just like we don't consider a short travel a reason for you to break your fast, a minor illness is also not a reason for you to break your fast. A short journey from a fiqh perspective is not considered a journey, they said. And likewise, a minor illness is not really considered an illness from a fiqh perspective. So as you see, there's two opinions on this matter, on the illness, which is considered, a minor illness. However, it's probably safer and closer to the truth not to adopt the opinion that any illness constitutes an exemption from fasting. Yes, the verse is broad and it mentions just illness, but that illness is tied to a reason, which is making it easier for you. If it's not making it easier for you, then it's probably more correct to say it's haram for you to break your fast. The excuse for the ill should only be for what falls under the first two categories. If one fears that fasting will make his illness worse or will slow the recovery of, or progress, then that's sunnah. If it causes extreme hardship, something, like death or near death or very extreme hardship, then it's wajib upon you, then you must break your fast. Normal day-to-day illness will not affect your fast. And therefore, one should not really break his fast. In fact, the correct opinion that I believe is that it's haram. However, one must know that opinion, like opinion of a little pain in your finger or your tooth, is adopted by giants of the ulama in the Salaf. And that's why it should be respected. Like we said, Ibn Sirin and Bukhari and others. One matter worthy of noting is that Ibn Hazm adopted the opinion, and he said that if one is ill, under category 1 or 2, he said it's haram for him to fast, and his fast is rejected. Because Allah said, فَعِدَّةٌ مِّنْ أَيَّامٍ أُخَرٍ. So he considered it, first of all, haram, it's sinful, but also that it's not valid. Because a sick person, according to him, should not be fasting in Ramadan. Some ulama, this is another, that's of course extreme opinion, but some said also that the timing of the fast for one who's ill is not even Ramadan. If you're sick and you're in Ramadan, you're not supposed to be fasting because that's not the timing. Allah said, فَعِدَّةٌ مِّنْ أَيَّامٍ أُخَرٍ. Make up from other days. That's like me praying before the time. I get up before Asr, 10, 15 minutes, and I make the Asr. And they said the timing of one who's ill is not during Ramadan. He fasts after Ramadan, if he's ill. Next point is, who judges the illness? Some matters, they're obvious. You can judge for yourself. You know your illness yourself. Sometimes it's a doctor who can advise you and tell you, because sometimes you might not even feel it, and they can tell you there's something wrong, and it could even be, the ulama said, a kafir doctor. Then he mentions after this, وَلِمُسَافِرٍ يَقْصُرٍ. After a person is ill, he said a person on a journey, and that's in the same verse. فَمَنْ كَانَ مِنْكُمْ مَرِيضًا أَوْ عَلَى سَفَرٍ. Whoever's ill or on a journey, then the same number of days which he missed out in Ramadan, he must make up. They're in the proof is in the same verse. He said it's sunnah to break fast for one who's traveling, the distance that he is permitted to shorten his prayer. Notice he said for a traveler who travels the distance of one who's allowed to shorten his prayer. Safar, the term safar in Arabic means linguistically one who clears away from his city. One who leaves his vicinity or city and clears away from it. He's called a musafir. Just like a mufassir comes from the same root word. A mufassir clears the meaning of the Quran for us. And a musafir clears away from his town or vicinity. That's the linguistic figurative meaning of safar. The author said you can break your fast if the distance of your journey is the distance of one who's allowed and permitted to shorten his salah. What's the travel distance one is permitted to shorten his salah? Because if we know that distance, then that's the type of journey one is allowed to break his fast in. This is a greatly disputed issue, and it's not at the core of our fasting, and it would take more than double this halaqah to explain the opinions with proof. Some specified a wide range of distances, like 83 kilometers, a little bit less or a little bit more, and they went by the distance. Some went by days, and they said, 3 days, a little bit less than that. Some said more than that. Some went by the distance of night and day. And this was a large group of ulama, because in the hadith, لا يحل لامرأة تسافر مسافة يوم وليلة إلا مع ذي محرم. The messenger said a woman can't travel the distance of night and day without a mahram. And he called night and day safar, journey. So they adopted that. Ibn Taymiyyah adopted the opinion that the correct opinion on this is it's based on urf. If one leaves his area, vicinity, in what's commonly widespread and known as travel, then that's travel. And I love that opinion, and that's what I go by. Many who I studied with also like the opinion, but when they would be asked, they'd go by 80 or 85 kilometers to be safe. Now, break and fast, keep in mind, break and fast is your right even if there's no hardship, even if there's no mashaqqa. That's not a condition. So if you're traveling first class on a journey and there's no hardship, you can still break your fast if it's considered travel. Is it better to fast or not? Is it better to fast or not? There's numerous hadith that the Messenger ﷺ and the Sahaba fasted in their journeys. And there's other hadith where the Messenger ﷺ and the Sahaba broke their fast while they were traveling. Now let's go through the details of that. The first one is if you're on a journey and if you were to fast on that journey, it would cause severe hardship or death. This is similar to what we took just moments ago in the second category of someone who fasts while he's ill and it causes him severe hardship or death. It would be haram because of the hadith of Amr ibn al-As radiallahu anhu and the understanding of the verse وَلَا تَقْتُلُوا أَنفُسَكُمْ. In fact, the Messenger sallallahu alayhi wasallam, when he left to Mecca during the year of conquest, it was in Ramadan, he was fasting. And he and the people with him fasted until they reached a town on their way there. So from the mercy of the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam is that he must have seen that the Sahaba were in a hardship, yet they didn't want to break their fast. So he went and asked for a cup of water. And then he elevated it so the people could see, and then he began to drink. He was informed later on that some refused or continued to fast. They continued their fast. So the Messenger ﷺ said about them, those who continue to fast, those are the disobedient ones, those are the disobedient ones. أُولَٰئِكَ هُمُ الْعُصَاةُ أُولَٰئِكَ هُمُ الْعُصَاةُ. That's the ruling if it's difficult or causes one harm. What if it's not difficult? Assume your journey is not difficult. Here's the opinions on that. The first opinion on that is according to this book, and it's the opinion of the Hanbali madhab. It's also the opinion of Ibn Umar and Ibn Abbas and Sa'id ibn Musayyib and Al-Sha'bi and Al-Awza'i that it's better not to fast. The Messenger sallallahu alayhi wasallam seen people gathered around the man. So he asked them what was happening. They said it's a man who's exhausted because of his fasting. The Messenger sallallahu alayhi wasallam said it's not righteousness to fast when traveling. ليس من البر الصيام في السفر. ليس من البر الصيام في السفر. This hadith applies actually to the previous scenario when fasting is exhausting and to that point where he must have passed out. However, this group took what the Messenger ﷺ said. ليس من البر الصيام في السفر. It's not righteousness for one to fast while he's traveling. Imam Ahmad rahimahullah said, Ibn Umar and Abu Huraira adopted the opinion that if one was to fast while he's traveling, then he needs to make it up. That's another way of saying that his siyam while traveling is invalid. It said that Ibn Umar also adopted the opinion. Ibn Hazm rahimahullah said, Zuhri narrated that Abdurrahman ibn Auf radiallahu anh said, one who fasts while he's traveling on a journey is like one who breaks his fast while he's at home. You know how sinful it is for some to be sitting at home and break his fast while he has no excuse? Then they said he gets the same. Abdurrahman ibn Auf said he gets the same amount of sin for one who travels and fasts. The second opinion is by the majority of the ulama. They said it's permissible to fast while you're traveling. Unless, of course, it falls under the category of being exhaustive or causes extreme hardship or death. Ibn Abdul Barr responded to the previous opinion, like that which Abdurrahman ibn Auf radiallahu anh said and others said, who consider it either prohibited or invalid to fast while you're traveling. They said, Ibn Abdul Barr said, this opinion has been abandoned by the ulama, that it's haram or invalid to fast while you're traveling. He said that's been abandoned by the ulama. And it's abandoned because of the hadith in Sahih Bukhari and Muslim, where a man asked the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam, should I fast while traveling? He said, the sallallahu alaihi wasallam, if you would like to fast, fast. If you would like to break your fast, break it. In shi'ta fasum wa in shi'ta faftur. That's the answer to this matter. That's the correct opinion. If you wish, then fast. And if you wish, then don't fast. That's the opinion on this matter. In another narration in Sunan Nasa'i, that man who asked was Amr al-Aslami. He said, O Messenger of Allah, if I'm able to fast while I'm traveling, can I fast? He said, if you wish, then fast, and if you wish, then don't fast. More so, in Bukhari and Muslim, Anas ibn Malik said, we traveled with the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam during the month of Ramadan. Those who observed the fast found no fault with the breaker of the fast. And those who broke their fast found no fault with the one who observed the fast. So the first opinion is that it's haram to fast even if it's not difficult. The second opinion is that it's a matter of preference. The third opinion, and it's that by Abu Hanifa and Malik and Shafi'i and Anas and Uthman ibn Abi al-As and Umar ibn Abdul Aziz and Mujahid and Qatada and others, they said it's better to fast while you're on your journey. Now the correct opinion on this is like what Qatada rahimahullah said. He said the best choice for one traveling is what's easier for him, because Allah said, يُرِيدُ اللَّهُ بِكُمُ الْيُسْرَ. If both are equal, the hardship and difficulty, if it's not that difficult, then it's a matter of preference. Someone who likes to fast to get it over with in Ramadan, if they don't feel good about delaying Ramadan or making up days, they'd rather fast it in Ramadan, then they can do it in Ramadan while they're traveling. Some don't like to miss days of Ramadan because they're a blessing. And if they travel, they want to take advantage of the Ramadan days. They're blessed days. They're cherished days. So they like to do it in Ramadan. They don't want to do the makeup days. Some, it may be easier for them to fast in Ramadan because everyone's fasting. Wherever Muslim country you go to, wherever you have relatives, they're all fasting. So it's easier to do it in Ramadan. When the Messenger ﷺ ordered them, it was because it was a hardship. What it boils down to, as long as one doesn't cause himself some harm, then it's a matter of preference. Ibn Abdul Barr rahimahullah said, and he responded to those who consider it invalid or haram, he said, that's been an opinion that's been abandoned by the fuqaha for the hadith in Sahih Bukhari and Muslim, where the Messenger gave Al-Aslami the choice between fasting or not, when he said he's able to fast if he travels. Let's stop here. Jazakumullah khairah. If you have any questions.